9-36. Three spinners are shown below. If each spinner is randomly spun, and if spinners number 2 and number 3 are each equally divided, calculate the following probabilities. Okay, so we want to find the probability of spinning an A, C, and E in that order, and we also want to find the probability of spinning at least one vowel. So in order to do this problem, first you have to generate the tree diagram. So what I did is I kind of did this beforehand because it was going to take a long time to do. And this is probably the most critical part, is how do you set up the spinners. And so what happens is you can spin them in any order. So this is going to be your first spin. So spin number 1. And then this is going to be spin number 2. And then this will be spin number 3. Now, I did it with spinner 1, spinner 2, spinner 3, but you could have started with spinner 2 and went to spinner 1 and then spinner 3, or vice versa. Any kind of combinations would have been fine. So remember, as you start, if we spin the first spinner, what are our options? We could have A or B, and the probability of A is 3/4 and the probability of B is 1/4. Then so we spin that, and so then we spin the second spinner, and so what are our probabilities? We can get C or D, and it's 50% for each, so that's why it's 1/2 and 1/2. And then once we spin spinner 2, then we go to spinner 3. And so what are our options? We have 3 options, E, F, and G, and they are all equally likely to happen. Okay, so as we go through the tree diagram, we have A, C, E. So that first combination, the probability of spinning A, C, E, we just start from the beginning and we go A 3/4 times C, which is 1/2, times 1/3. So 3/4 times 1/2 times 1/3 equals 1/8. So just to see my work here, oh, this should be not, can't read that. That should be a P. So the probability of spinning an A, C, and E equals 1/8. Okay, so you multiply along the tree diagram. Okay, so now the next one is we want the probability of spinning at least one vowel. So what I did is I went through and I looked at my outcomes. So we have 2 vowels, we have 1 vowel, 1 vowel, 2 vowels, 1 vowel, 1 vowel, 1 vowel, 1 vowel. So I underlined wherever we were going to have a vowel. And so to get this probability, I have to take all of these probabilities and add them up. So the probability of ACE, the probability of ACF, the probability of ACG. And because it says at least one vowel, you could have 2. So we have to include the ones where there are 2 vowels. So once you do that, the probability of at least one vowel, you take all of those probabilities, you add them up. And so I did it with fractions. You could change them to decimals, is fine too, but it's always good to get fraction work. You got to get a common denominator, and then once you get a common denominator, you can add them together. And then the next thing you do is you have to reduce the fraction to 5/6.